Hello guys, it's BigfeetzGaming here, and this is a guide for the first boss in the Genetic Archives, X-89. As this is the first boss of the first tier of raiding, it isn't too hard to deal with and has very few mechanics, although they do require each one of your raiders to be on their toes and know how to do their job. For this fight you're going to want to have 2 to 3 healers, 2 tanks, and the remainder of your raid being DPS. If you think you can manage this fight with 2 healers, it may make the fight's and rage timer a bit easier to manage. When you first start running towards the boss, the door behind you is going to close and the platforms will start falling down, so you should do a pull timer for this. Your tank should run to the centre to pick up the boss and then take it towards one of the edges. Your DPS shouldn't start DPSing until after the first knockback, as the tanks tend to lose a threat as the knockback happens for some reason. The first ability you're going to have to deal with that the boss uses is called Resounding Shout. This ability is used periodically throughout the fight, and after a short cast time knocks all members of your raids backwards and up into the air. You should bring a movement ability such as a Medic's Urgency to negate the effects of this, and to return to the boss much faster. And as mentioned earlier, when you first enter the boss room and get close to the centre, the boss will use this ability immediately. The second ability you need to be aware of is the boss's spew attack. After a short cast time, the boss will start rotating in a random direction, and players hit by this will most certainly die. Simple enough, just avoid it. Now, the main mechanic of this fight that you will need to deal with is bombs. Throughout the fight, one of 2 types of bombs will be placed on players, and depending on the type of bomb, they need to be dealt with differently. The large bombs are extremely easy to tell and will create a huge red telegraph radiating out from the player they're targeted. This player should quickly move and jump off the edge of the platform to prevent killing the entire raid. The player will then be thrown back up onto the platform to resume fighting. On occasion, the large bomb may target your current tank. If this should occur, your other tank will want to pick up the boss and start tanking it, whilst your other tank jumps off the platform. Now, the second type of bomb is much harder to tell. When a player is affected by this, we'll have a small telegraph under them, and it will reflect onto the platform as well. And they should run to the edge of the platform. Once the telegraph fills up, the bomb will start to detonate and blow up the platform it was placed on. The player should quickly move from where it was placed and run back to the fight. Now, there's one final mechanic you need to deal with, and it has to be dealt with by your tanks. Periodically throughout the fight, X-89 will cast Shattering Shockwave, which places a large telegraph straight out from the boss towards the tank, and a small circular telegraph around the boss, which you melee need to be careful to avoid. When this ability hits, it will destroy the furthest platform along its telegraph. So, due to Shattering Shockwave and the bomb mechanics, your tank should kite the boss around the edge of the room, being careful of which platforms are destroyed by Shattering Shockwave. And the boss should be kept slightly from the edge to give your raiders room to move around the boss to avoid its spew. That's all there really is to this fight. Drop bombs, avoid spews, and make sure not to kill anyone. Make sure to not kill your raid, and you should be enjoying your first kill shortly. The only enrage mechanic to this boss fight is running out of platforms, and it can quite easily occur if it's your first kill and you lose a few people. As always, if you enjoyed this guide, make sure to comment, give it a thumbs up, or even subscribe. It really does help me out, and I'll try to get some more guides out soon. See you later, guys.